might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is Monday, March 11th, 2024. We are moving through the month. If you do not know who I am your host of the show, of the channel. This is Koffee and Kata. I am Tech Coach Ralph, where we are engineered to win. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't mind the time change. I just don't like when it happens. It absolutely messes me up every single time, and by the time that I'm finally adjusted to the new time, then they change it all over again. It is a mess, right? So we're here. It's still like a little dark outside. I mean, it's the sun is just about coming up, but it is annoying. I'll tell you that. It's annoying. But we're here. We don't miss. We have to do what we have to do. The next 2 weeks is going to be super, super crazy for me, but we're committed. We're gonna do what we have to do, and then we'll go from there. All right. So had a pretty good show yesterday. A little shortened than normal because that whole time change yesterday, I was out of it. But we got a lot of work done, and we're gonna keep pushing. All right. Today we are going to review our news stories, and then we're gonna do a little bit of our mobile app development. I was able to work on it after the show on Friday and a little bit into the weekend, and I was able to get the dialog box that we're working on. So I'll show you how I got that to work, and you know how it looks now. We'll use the emulator and we'll go from there. But as we like to do when we get started, we're going to be looking at our news articles for today, and then we're going to jump into our Flutter mobile development. All right. So let me go ahead and open up one more article that I saw. All right, we're good. So, and I don't see the link yet for the numbers. You know, I always like to look at the numbers. So, if we don't have them by the end of the show, then we'll probably just look at it on Wednesday. But that's what we're gonna go with. All right. So, if you haven't done so already, do me a big favor: like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's go. All right. So, I'm gonna put our timer up. 5 minutes on the clock, and let's jump to news. So, for all of you amazing travelers out there, let me zoom in one more time, right? No, let's go back. That one doesn't. Cool. So it says the great carry-on battle begins. Checked bag fees get the headlines, but carry-ons might deserve your attention more, writes the Wall Street Journal. That's because the items you bring on board represent the next battleground between airlines and passengers. Southwest fired the first shot when it recently implemented a policy that considers, for instance, pillows and blankets as personal items. What in the world is going on here? Items like pillows and blankets are personal items? Although the spokesperson said employees may use their own discretion. So all right, here's what we're going with. All right. So the employees now are going to say whether it's a personal item or not. So if you have a blanket, if you get the right employee, then you'll be good to go. But if you don't get the right employee, then you have to pay like 100, like $50 for a pillow and a blanket, or throw it away. It's gonna be. And this is why I am not the biggest fan of traveling. It's such a headache. It's such a hassle, right? Delta, United, and American are quietly following in Southwest's footsteps. Noted the journal. Consider yourself warned. Of course, many passengers want to avoid checked bag fees, especially now that many airlines increased theirs. Right, they've increased the fees. Delta joined the club last week, announcing prices of $35 for the first bag and $45 for the second bag. All U.S. carriers allow one carry-on. All U.S. carriers allow one carry-on, larger bags that need to be stored in the overhead compartment, and one personal item such as a backpack or a fanny pack. Well, I'll tell you this: Spirit, maybe they're not a U.S. carrier, but you got to pay like the carry-on is more than the checked item, right? That's a whole other story. But yeah, and this is why I am not the biggest fan of traveling. If I have to go anywhere, if it can't fit in a backpack, then I don't really want to go. And if it's not 2 hours away driving, I don't really want to go. So, anyways, that's me. All right. Let's jump to our next story. So we have pencils down. SAT goes digital. What in the world? The SATs. I remember when I took the SATs and it was all pencil bound, right? Pencil, and we don't use it. What did we use for the SATs? Was it filling in? I don't remember. It's been like over 20 years since I took the SATs. For the first time, teenagers across the country took a new version of the SAT that was fully digital and 45 minutes shorter than before. Well, if it's shorter, you got my vote. You got my vote if it's 45 minutes shorter. The College Board said test of the digital SAT showed it was just as rigorous as the paper test, but less anxiety provoking for students and more accessible for those with learning disabilities. And if you forgot your number 2 pencil, you are good to go because it's just a click of the button. The organization believes the digital version will also minimize opportunities for cheating since most test takers won't get the same questions. Students who do well in the exam will get harder questions as they proceed. Oh, okay. I kind of like that, right? It starts off easy and it gets a little bit harder. And now I wonder how the scoring works, though. That's going to be interesting. Critics of the digital SAT says its shorter reading passages don't serve students who may already have shortened reading stamina due to distractions from technology. Well, my friends, kids, students, you have to level up. Brown University became the third Ivy League school to revive the standardized testing requirements for applicants. So they didn't have it before? Interesting. All right. Anyways, I am a fan of hiring the standards, making it tougher. No handouts. All right. Okay. Let's get to our next article. NVIDIA sued in AI copyright case. I wonder if that's why NVIDIA stock was going down a little, right? 3 authors are suing NVIDIA in a proposed class action lawsuit, claiming the chip giant used their copyrighted books without permissions to train its AI platform, Nemo. Interesting. Brian Keene, Abdi Nazemian, and Stuart Onan said their works were part of a data set of about nearly 200,000 books that helped NVIDIA's large language model learn to simulate ordinary written language before it was taken down last October. They are seeking unspecified damages for people in the US who helped train the system in the last 3 years, adding to a growing pool of author litigation over generative AI. I got to think about that one more. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow night, about the books that are being read and learned to train AI. I don't know how I think. I don't know what my thoughts are about that yet. One quick thought is like, maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow, right? I'm gonna write that down. We're gonna talk about that tomorrow because that's gonna be pretty interesting. What happened? Like, what happens when you get your information from somewhere and you build upon information, right? So that's gonna be a good topic we can touch on briefly tomorrow night. All right. And then last one that we have is America's new job hotspots, right? Phoenix is taking flight. So are Orlando and Albuquerque. I think I was just hearing Joseph and Trey talk about that on their morning show. I missed the article, but it looks like that's what because they mentioned Phoenix, Orlando, Albuquerque. All 3 are among the cities seeing booming job growth, reports the Wall Street Journal. Job postings in Phoenix have exploded by 60% since 2020. In San Francisco, they're down 25% because nobody wants to be in San Francisco. Affordability, quality of life, lower taxes, you always have me at lower taxes, and better weather. I like better weather. Although I'm in South Florida, so I don't think it gets any better than that. except during June to November when it's hurricane season. Whole nother story, right? Even better, weather are among the factors luring companies away from the traditional job hotspots, as well as the growth of remote work. The Sunbelt is a big beneficiary of this shift, adding 4 times more jobs last spring than the West did. Tech companies are moving their headquarters away from big cities more frequently, followed by manufacturing and financial services. A recent CBRE study found the wage gap, between bigger cities and smaller cities is shrinking. In 2021, workers in Lincoln, Nebraska earned 6% less than the national average, but by last year, that gap was 3%. Interesting. And the company I work for is based out of Lincoln, Nebraska. So that's awesome. All right. And by the way, I went to Lincoln. I mean, it wasn't freezing cold when I went there, but it's pretty nice over there. Small city, but pretty nice. But then I heard they were also freezing after I left. So that's another story. All right. I don't know if the numbers are in yet or that they've been shared. Other news, right? Real quick. Reddit aims for up to $748 million in IPO. Oppenheimer prevails at the Oscars. More women at work than pre-COVID. BMW takes on Tesla in EV sales. That's interesting. Um, oh, there we go. Numbers to watch this week. Let's jump into the numbers, and then we'll spend a few minutes working on our just probably not get much coding done, but I'll show you around what I did. All right. So the numbers to watch this week. Inflation is back in the crosshairs this week as the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics releases a key price gauge for February. Rising gasoline prices are expected to push the overall monthly consumer index up to 0.4% from 0.3% in January. A FactSet survey of economists shows the annual rate is seen holding at 3.1%. The Federal Reserve has said it's looking for signs that inflation is firmly on the downward path before it starts cutting interest rates, which currently sits at the 23-year high. I wonder if that firm notice is going to happen in like September, October. Things that make you say, All right. And other upcoming releases. Tuesday, March 12th, the Bureau of Labor Statistics will release its monthly consumer price index for February, which measures inflation through the price of goods and services. Thursday, March 14th, the U.S. Department of Labor will release initial jobless claims for the previous week. The report, a proxy for layoffs, tracks the number of people filing for unemployment benefits. The Bureau of Labor Statistics will also release the producer price index for February. The gauge measures the change over time in prices charged by domestic producers for their output. And then also also on Thursday, March 14th, a very busy day, the U.S. Commerce Department will release its retail sales report for February, which tracks demand for finished goods such as food, clothing, and furniture in stores and online. And lastly, Friday, March 15th, the University of Michigan will release its preliminary reading of March's Consumer Sentiment Index, which measures how Americans feel about current and future economic conditions. All right. All I know, I've never been surveyed about any of this type of stuff, but it is what it is. All right. So let's go back to full screen. And here we are. All right. So thank you guys for joining me for the news section. We're going to jump really quick into the Flutter section, and we are going to do 15 minutes. It's already like I tell you, this time change messes me up every single time. So we are going to jump over to 15 minutes on the clock, and we are going to jump over into Flutter. If you haven't done so yet, do me a big favor and like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every single time that we go live. All right. So let's do it like this. All right. So all right, I am going to start the emulator. I could probably get it there. Okay, so we are gonna do. Let's do the because I think I fixed the I think I fixed the iOS simulator, and it was because what was the reason for it? It was some spacing thing that was happening with it. I don't know, but I was able to get it to come up on Friday. So we're gonna try to use the iOS simulator because for me it starts up a little bit faster than the emulator. So we're gonna use that, and I didn't try it on that. I didn't try it on that one on Friday. I only did it on the Android, and I was able to see things working. So when we test, we need to be able to see it in both. We need to be able to see it like in all the devices that we're trying to test for. It makes it a little bit easier that we're doing it in Flutter because it writes it for both, but we still need to make sure that things are working. So here we are. Um, I have to switch back and forth, but okay. So let's go to play. And now the app should come up on our iPhone 15 Pro Max simulation, right? I don't see anything happening. All right, it is running. Just taking its time. But in the meantime, while that's getting started, let me show you what we did. Yep. So it's getting started. All right. So I had to figure out how to do the I had to figure out how to do the let me move this over here. Let's go here. Oh my goodness. Okay. So what I ended up having to do was here I have a show material dialog, right? And the error that I was getting previously was that the when trying to load the alert, there was no material like UI, right? So I'll show you what I have to do. So in here, this is like pretty much the same code, the same alert. The alert has to go inside of material layout or whatever they call it, right? We'll check that in a second. And I have my message in here, total annual income error that has a limit of 900 or 9,999,999,999 dollars, right? So please adjust what you enter, and then you have a button to dismiss. But the reason that it wasn't showing up is because if we go inside of our code here, you probably don't remember because it was a long time ago, but we had so you see how this is a return material, but in the main one, it wasn't doing like it didn't have material here, right? And that's why I was giving like errors and stuff like that. So I had to put material out on the outside of it as well. And by doing that, it allowed the error message or it allowed the dialog box to show up, right? It's like it took some time to figure it out. A lot of Stack Overflow research, which a lot of the things that we do, it ends up being like we have to do Stack Overflow and stuff like that to figure out why things aren't working. And that's the thing, right? And this is why I like to pivot away from like the traditional projects that they're giving us because it forces you to research and stuff like that, and it matters more to you because it's your own thing, right? Let's see if this is up yet. Still not up yet. Taking some time. All right, but that's what was holding us back. And when it would try to run, we either get an error or nothing was happening. But now maybe we should have went with the Android. But now, once it finally comes up, we should be able to see we should be able to see the pop-up and stuff like that. And now what we're gonna do next is you can't see it from the screenshot, but we're going to like add a little button where you can clear out these fields, right? And let me pull up the backlog real quick to see if there's anything else. What else before? Because would like to release a second release to the app stores with these changes. I do. I think I'm gonna fix the ads too before I release the second version as well, or the fixes for the first version. What versioning in software is pretty. It's pretty. It's like they have the major version, which is the first number. Then they have the minor version, which would be like an update, and then the third number it would be like a patch. So it's like when you have 1.0.0, that's like major version one, right? But then if you have 1.1 is a major version one, minor version one, and then like point three would be like if they have to do like fixes and stuff within those versions. All right, let's look at this real quick. All right, it should be loading up soon. But let's go over to our backlog and app crashes when large amounts are so it wasn't necessarily that the apps are crashing, but it was that like I mean, I guess you can consider it crashing if none of the numbers are updating afterwards, right? And it just like gets stuck. So I guess crashing can have different terminology based on who's using it, but nonetheless, it wasn't working, right? So and then so basically these two take care of the same thing. Um, and then we also want to add another alert box when someone tries to enter a decimal in that field. Add so this is the feature that we want to do, and this one I haven't seen yet. I have to try this one out. That one to me is not as critical, but I have to see exactly what's going on. But we also want to do a fix the ads. Let me see if I have that on the backlog. Create a profile, add stopwatch. All right, so we wanted to do this is a bug. The app crashes when opening, when expanding video. And here's the thing, right? Oh, we'll write the bug for it. Let's write the bug. Let's see. And when ads are present on the app, video player box makes the app crash. Expected results. App should not crash and work as normally. Actual results. App crashes completely. Takes user to their home screen. Steps. Reproduce on an actual device. Expand and collapse the area of the video, of the YouTube video, until the app crashes. Make sure ads are enabled. go with Android / iOS. Happens on both, right? So we have our bug. I'm going to move that into do because it would be nice to get the ads working as part of the when we do our next release with all these fixes that we're doing. So that'd be cool, right? So let's go back over here before we wrap it up. So where is our emulator? All right, so there goes the ad on the emulator, right? And let's see how it works in iOS. I haven't tried it in iOS yet, so we will find out together. So we're gonna go with 9, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? So all these numbers are good. Very nice hourly worth. An hour of your time is worth $1 million, over $1 million if you make almost $10 billion a year. A second of your time is worth $317. I need to update my neck. All right, so we are going to do now. Let's do one more 9. And we have our dialog box. And we can probably adjust it, the colors and stuff like that if we wanted to. Probably change its color to something else. I don't know. Not that serious right now. We would need a UI evangelist to UI UX person to clean up this layout. But yeah, so now we do dismiss and it's gone. And I have it also resetting all of these numbers down here. And to do that, to reset those numbers, right? So the way that I had to get it to work is, let's go. Let's do this. That way we can see. So I had to, and there's probably going to be some refactoring involved as we like clean up these tests and stuff like that. But I had to do on the set state, right? Show the dialogue, and then I had to so I'm setting the state of when the number is greater than like the 999 billion, right? To show the dialog box and then reset all the numbers to 0, right? I'm looking for a cleaner way to do that, but that's what was able to get the numbers reset. If I didn't do that, then like this would reset, but then all these numbers would stay the same. And we want to do that. Another thing I just thought about is adding which I forgot who suggested it to me, but as we have these little clear buttons here, that's going to clear the input field. They also should need to clear out this as well, and this would stay the same. This would stay, but it needs to reset some of these fields. I don't know. That's something that we'll have to figure out. But we want the clear button here. It's gonna have to update the state. And the other thing is we want a clear all button, which maybe that clear all button could be floating. And well, we are at time, but let me finish my thought, right? We do want that clear all button. Maybe it could be floating, and then when you click on clear, like, and you get a confirmation, are you sure you want to clear all the fields, or reset the calculator? And if you say yes, then it clears everything. If you say no, it dismisses it and takes you back to that screen. So something to consider. I have to write up a user story for that. But yeah, and this right here should be uh greater than whatever. Um Yeah, so that's pretty much how it works, right? So if we do 99999999999, we have all of our numbers. We do, and this is the importance of writing these tests because, and then we're gonna also have to do um, Appium tests as well to make sure that our numbers are correct and that the end-to-end tests are working. But if we say here, we say it's going to amount of hours spent on an activity, let's say 10. It costs, if you make 9.9 billion and you spend 10 hours on something, it costs you $11 million, right? But maybe that's a drop of bucket to 10 $10 billion billionaire, right? Additional costs, let's say it's right? And we have to check all the inputs on all the fields as well because we might have to limit these numbers as well. But we shall see, right? So if you were to spend $1 million plus 10 hours, and you're making 9.9 billion, the money spent would be $12 million. All right. So that's where we're gonna wrap it up for today. We're going to I'm gonna get like the story added to the backlog, and as we go through it, we're gonna have bugs, right? Because there's different things, different scenarios that are gonna come up. But we'll figure it out as we go along. Yeah, we'll get the stories added. Maybe next time we'll clean up our test to make sure that we're capturing this data effectively and that we are verifying the pop-up because sometimes like in order to figure it out, you have to like write some code first to see how it works, and then you can go back and you write your especially when you're learning, right? If you already know the stuff, you can easily write the test. But we kind of did have the test for the most part. Like we have the test here, but we just had to figure out like how to get it to show up. So that's what it is. All right. Yeah, let's go back to full screen. We'll wrap it up for today. All right. So that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and hanging out with me for about, I think we spent like half an hour this morning figuring out, reviewing our news, dealing with this new time change. I didn't even get, like, the time change messed me up so much. I didn't even get my coffee this morning, right? So all I had was some water. And, we're going to do what we do. So on your way out, if you haven't done so already, do me a huge, huge favor. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can know every time that we go live. And if you need some personalized one-on-one coaching with me, go over to www.techcoachralph.dev where you can sign up for a coaching plan. On that note, thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful Monday. It's Monday, the best, the greatest day of the week where we plan and we get our work done and we make sure we set the foundation for having an amazing and prosperous week. All right. But on that note, thank you guys again for tuning in. This is Tech Coach Ralph in the morning, and we are out.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again. Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.